Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel and to the first Trash Craft Tuesday video of 2023. My name is Belinda and this is Visualized NZ. So happy to have you with me today, and let's get right into it because this could be a slightly time-consuming project. I'm going to try and do it as quickly as possible. I'm working with a product box. My husband bought me these farm brick trailers and a tractor. So I've got 5 of these boxes and they're very sturdy corrugated cardboard. So I've broken one down and I'm going to use this as a journal cover. It is not quite the size of what I normally use. It's the same width of journal, but it's shorter. So it's not as high, so the pages I put in it I'll need to cut down from A4 size, which is perfectly fine. And it's got a spine, whereas normally I just like have my A5 folded in half. It hasn't got a spine, so this will have a couple of signatures in it, which will be fun. And because it's Trash Craft Tuesday, so we're using product packaging, I'm using a gel medium as my adhesive, and because I want to get this pattern covered, I don't want to peel it off because I don't want to make it flimsy or flimsier, not that it's flimsy to begin with, but I hope I'm making sense here. I feel like I'm talking over myself. My aim is to first lay down just some plain paper just to dull down the pattern a bit. And then I'm going to use some scraps to put over top of that. And then my other piece of trash, which is something I'm excited about, is hats from Christmas crackers. Please excuse, I'm still a bit froggy, weirdly. You know, you have Christmas crackers on Christmas Day, and then what do you do with the hats that come out of the Christmas crackers? They're really pretty tissue paper, pretty colours generally. The ones I've got, some of them are a bit dull, but still nice colour. And so I'm going to mix that in with some book page scraps and music paper scraps to make this cover. And using the gel medium is an adhesive but also a sealer, so it should be nice and strong and durable once it's all done. So I'm just making sure I get this all covered so I can lay down my top paper. And I'm working on a blue mat that's a plastic mat, and so I can clean it up easy afterwards, not have to worry about getting glue all over it. Super helpful, these blue mats that picked up at an eco store where they sell people's unwanted trash. And it costs like 50 sheets for $1, and it's just the best supply I've ever had that came super cheap. So this is painter's masking paper. So I'm just laying this down, as I said, just to dull down that pattern a bit, because some of the book pages I'm going to be laying down are quite thin, and I thought if I just put them down I'm going to have to layer and layer and layer. Because they'll all show the background through. So my plan is that I will actually wrap around onto the inside, not as much as I've got here, so I'm going to trim it down, and then when it's all done and dry I will wrap it onto the inside and then cover the inside with something else. So I'll just give this a trim down now. This side. So how is everybody? We're well underway into the new year now. It's day 3 here in New Zealand, the 3rd of January, and it feels like, yeah, it's old news now. We're in 2023. Just get on with life, you know. Husband's still off work. Today's a public holiday here, so he will be back at work tomorrow. Now this has got bubbles, sorry, not bubbles, wrinkles, and I fully expected that, and I want to embrace the wrinkles and make this quite textured. because I think that'll be fun and work really well with the tissue paper hats. So I'm going to tip out my scraps of book page and music paper, etc. And I'm just going to start collaging them up. And I'm not worried at all about what goes where, how it looks, because I think it's all going to look really good once it's done. If you don't have matte medium, then you could try a mix of PVA and water, 1:1 ratio. That's often what I do when I'm working with serviettes or things. Or, you know, try whatever. Now, I don't want this white edge, so I'm just going to tear that off. And I'm also well aware that I may get cracking on the spine when I fold this back up. I'm not worried about that either. It's perfectly fine, and I'm making sure I'm going to put it over top of what I'm sticking down, because that's what helps seal it. I can put lace or fabric or, you know, whatever on the spine. It's not a big deal if it cracks. I've got lots of little pieces here. So I'm just going to layer them up. And make sure they're nicely stuck down. Oh dear. I'm fine until I start talking, and then my voice just goes cracky, froggy, throaty silliness. Just annoying. So what's everyone up to today? Are you on holiday where you are, or you're working, or doing some crafting maybe? That'd be cool. Craft along with me if you can. That's always fun. And just checking this. This is a bit of page out of a Guinness Book of Records. So one side talks about someone's death and the other side talks about someone's height. So I'm going to go with the height side just because I feel like it's a little more positive. I'm going to use a lot of medium doing this, and that's okay. It was given to me and it's getting a bit old, so it's getting a bit goopy. So it needs using. Oops, I should have torn down that straight bit, blank bit, but never mind. Okay, now I'm going to use a bit of hat. So a party hat out of a Christmas cracker. Just going to tear some pieces off. And I am actually going to, do I want straight edges? No, I probably don't want straight edges. I think that's probably going to annoy me if I use straight edges. So let's just take a second to do a torn edge. Yeah, I think that's much better. And I don't mind at all if these wrinkle, because I think it'll be fun if they do. Oops, that one's not quite glued down. I'm trying to think if there's anything I have to particularly say, and I don't know that there is. Oh, I made something yesterday I've never made before, and it was so good and surprisingly filling. I didn't expect it to be as filling as what it was. So I took a small brie cheese, so it was 110 grams, only just one of the small ones, and I coated it in flour, then egg, beaten egg, and then some crumbs that I made from low carb and keto bread. So I used a piece of keto bread and a piece of low carb bread, and then chucked it in the air fryer. I gave it 10 minutes. It didn't actually need 10 minutes when I took it out. It could have done with a bit less, but super quick and easy. And then we had it with some apricot chutney and crackers, and oh my gosh, it was so yummy. Super easy and really filling. So I thought, you know, I did enough supplies to do 2 cheeses, but I only cooked up 1, saying, well, you know, 10 minutes, I can easily do another one if we need another one. But I couldn't even eat my portion. I had to give it to my husband. And of course, he was quite happy to eat it for me. He didn't have a problem with that. But he was quite satisfied as well on his half plus the bit that I didn't eat. So yeah, it was really yummy. So we're going to have the same thing for lunch again today, because I did have the leftover egg, flour and breadcrumbs. So it's like, why not? And my husband before Christmas had picked up some cheeses really cheaply, a couple of dollars each, because normally they're twice that price for a small one. So yeah, oh, it was yummy. So that was fun. And I just put on this morning a big corned beef for dinner. We haven't had corned beef for a while, because it's been quite expensive, but he picked it up cheap yesterday, and so I've got that on in the slow cooker cooking up for tonight's dinner, and that'll provide lunches for the week, which is something we love doing. Okay, let's go with a bit of a red party hat. It's not wrinkling as much as what I would like actually, but that's okay. It might wrinkle more as it dries. Oh, trying to get into the hats. And I'm just taking a segment. And I've got 2 different styles of hat. These ones have got pointy bits on them, and then I've got some rounded ones from the 2 different days. These ones are from Boxing Day, when we had our Christmas with my husband's side of the family. And then the rounded ones are from Christmas Day with my side of the family. So I'm quite happy to take all the rubbish. I grabbed as much of the wrapping paper as I could, and as many hats and jokes out of the crackers. Only thing I didn't take a lot of was the Christmas cracker cases themselves. I took 2 from Christmas Day and 2 from Boxing Day. And then I says, no, I don't want all of them. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'll do with the Christmas crackers themselves. I'm sure I'll find something. But I didn't want a whole bunch of them, because we'd just end up having to dispose of them. So there's only so much I can fit in my wee house. It's already crammed to the rafters. I should have got some water out, because my brush is getting a bit stiff. So hopefully this isn't boring for everybody, watching me just glue down bits of paper. But it's just something you've got to do. If you want the result, you've got to do it. Now I've also got some sewing pattern in here. So let's chuck a bit of that down while we're here. Add a bit of different interest. My husband's out doing some weed trimming outside again. It's going to be a warm day, so he's trying to get it out before it gets too hot. And he's just come inside. So if you hear him in the background, that's just my husband. And he's gone back out again. Must just come in to get something. So hopefully you can see why I chose to put the paper, the brown paper, in the background first, so that it helps disguise that writing and pattern on the cardboard. So he was very industrious this morning. He was up. I was still sleeping because I had not a very good night. My legs were being dumb, so I spent quite a bit of last night sitting up waiting for painkillers to kick in. And so he let me sleep, and he was up around 6, I think, just before or just after, I can't remember. He told me, but I can't remember exactly what he said. Weeding our front rock garden, which had got way out of control. It's a very problematic area of our property that is just, I get sick of it. It's over where the old septic tank is, and the septic tank is still under the ground, and so nothing will grow really in there. So we built up a garden over top of it, but everything doesn't grow except the weeds. So we've planted plants in there, hardy plants that have then died. We've put grasses in, and they're doing okay, native grasses. But the weeds, oh my gosh, the weeds just won't stop, and it just gets so messy and untidy and horrible. Oh, I've managed to damage that. Okay, be wary of the tissue. It will damage easily. That's why I think I need water for my brush to just soften it up a little bit. So yeah, so he was in there weeding that and sort of getting it looking tidier, but it's like, what do we do with it now? It's just going to do the same thing over and over again, and it's super frustrating. So we've got lots and lots of different stones that we've collected in there. We've got some semi-precious stones, agates and things, all that we've collected from various trips and river and beach hunting. So they're super pretty. There's lots of really cool things in there, but of course they get covered over, and we just can't seem to get rid of the weeds. We're not gardeners. We seriously dislike gardening, both of us, and that's also part of the problem. We would keep on top of it more if we actually enjoyed gardening, but you know, I for one don't like the creepy critters. I can't, I just, yeah, and I don't like getting my hands dirty as well. You know, in gardening you're going to get both of those things. Particularly where I live in Amberley, for some reason spiders are just such a nuisance here. Like if your vehicle goes overnight, which, you know, of course it does, we don't have our cars in a garage, but overnight, even if you've cleaned it last thing before bed, by the morning it's covered in cobwebs. I don't know, it's not like that anywhere else that I've found. It's horrible. It's really horrible. And being an arachnophobe, it's just not the thing I like. But I've lived here all my life, and you know, I can cope with the spider webs. Okay, I don't like them touching me, so I use a stick or something to get rid of them off the car. But it's the inhabitants that are the worst. Don't let them get anywhere near me. My husband is well used to saving me from the critters. He's always on the lookout in the house to make sure that there's none, particularly of the whitetails, because I totally go into freeze mode and just stare. If they surprise me, I'll give a little yelp, and he always knows. He always knows when I've seen one. Even if I don't make a noise, he can tell by the look on my face. So he's very good at rescuing me. And he's had to rescue me a few times. I don't know whether I should tell you this, but never mind. Once I went to the toilet, and a huge water spider, like it was a water spider but it also had a big fat body, crawled out from under the mat in front of the toilet. and I was stuck. It was between me and the door. And so I had to yell, and this is years ago now, yell and yell and yell for him until he came and dealt with it. And I'm very private when I'm in the bathroom. Like, I don't like people coming in, or, you know, even if it's my husband. And so, like, but it was a dire situation. I needed to be rescued because that horrible, huge thing was in my territory, and I was not happy. Right. This is from Christmas Day. It's got the rounded peaks. I haven't really put much tissue paper in yet. That's alright. We can always put some over top as well. I think I'll leave the curved bit there. I think that's okay. And of course the text will be see-through through the colour. Depending on the colour of the tissue, actually, it's not as visible through the red, but very visible through the green, and a little bit visible through the orange. And I've also got some yellow and purple tissue as well, tissue hats. So I'm using all sorts of book pages. This music paper is from 1915, and I can't tell you the ages of everything else. Now I've got some foreign language text here from a medication. Actually, medication or from the cat's flea treatment, one or the other. I'm going to put a bit of that in. How are you getting on, hubby? What's he found? Ooh, currants. Ooh, he's found some currants in the backyard. That's a nice surprise. So that's what he came in to grab, is a pottle to put them in. Don't think I want that bit down the side there. It's a bit plain and boring. So he's now moved out to the back garden, which is a fenced off area that we had vegetables in at one point, but we don't have vegetables in it anymore since we're not gardeners. But there are some raspberry canes and some currant bushes, and we've never picked we haven't had them in that long, maybe a year or two. Yeah, probably a couple of years, and we've never actually picked any currants off them, so that's a nice surprise. I'd actually forgotten they were there. I don't think there's any raspberries this year. I think either the birds or the tree, the plum tree that's overgrowing them, has meant we got no raspberries. But my mother-in-law grows beautiful raspberries, so we had some fresh raspberries from her canes, which is really lovely. We had those on pancakes on Saturday, I think. Yeah, Saturday, New Year's Eve. We had pancakes with fresh raspberries, fresh strawberries, and yogurt. Oh, sorry. Okay, this music paper is from 1907, and it's very thin as well. So using the medium, it's just really important to get it well covered on front and back. And same if you're using like PVA mixture. You want to make sure it's well covered underneath and on top. So it's nicely sealed. And once it's dry, it should be very flexible and waterproof or water resistant. Seem to be getting a lot of music over this side. Maybe I'll put this bit up the top. Oops, my finger's sticking to it. got a little gap there, so what shall we pop in there? This little bit of paper, go there. And then I've got a gap here. This is very, very thick paper, this. I bought it because it had interesting tables in it, but I didn't realise how thick the pages were. And not really ideal for collage, but on a cover I think I can get away with it, because the cover is going to be thicker and more sturdy. And that's across the spine, so I hope it bends okay. But we'll just cover it in things if it doesn't. Right, put a bit of green there, I think. And why not put this little fragment of green down here, cover that little gap. Right, how are we going? Hope you're hanging in there, guys. I have no idea how long I've been at this so far. I am trying to go as quickly as possible. But it is what it is. My husband witnessed something very cool yesterday. He went to get our, I think she's 8 now, our 8-year-old cat who doesn't live here basically. She lives a couple of doors down because she doesn't get on with our other female cat who is, what, 3, 4, maybe 4 now. It's hard to keep track of how old they all are. And when he went down to pick up Kelly, at the older one, last night to bring her home for dinner, he witnessed the younger girl giving her sister a kiss, and all very peacefully and calmly, and it was like so nice to see. So hopefully that situation's getting better. It's definitely improved over what it was. It used to be very fraught, but the young one no longer chases the old one. But now we've got the boy kitten who's now a year old, and he chases her. So we've kind of went forwards and then backwards, but Kelly is coming home a little more than what she was when we first got him. And we didn't go out and get him. He chose us. He turned up living in our backyard, and we tried to befriend him to find him a home, and we fell in love. So he ended up staying, and he's the most gorgeous, sweetest cat, except when it comes to Kelly. And he's not being aggressive, he's just curious and playful because he's young. But Kelly doesn't see it that way. She's just like, you know, hisses and roars and get away from me and don't want to know you. We had hoped that kittens would bring out her maternal instinct. Yeah, they didn't. It did the opposite. But anyway, so we fell in love with Georgie. We couldn't rehome him. He's too precious. He's just beautiful. We love him to bits. He's very, very affectionate, very cuddly, very cute. And super, super sweet. So, yeah. So he found a forever home with us. And we estimate he's about a year old now. He came to us in March, beginning of March 2022, when he first turned up, and we think he was probably about 12 weeks or so at that point. Right, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Thank you for hanging in there if you're still hanging in. If you've gone and done something else, well, absolutely understand. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, is it, watching someone glue things down? So I will have to wait till this dries before I can do the next stage, which of course won't be on camera. So in my, hopefully tomorrow's video, whatever I'm doing tomorrow, I can show you how it turned out. That should be cool. Alright, got a gap there. Let's go with a bit of red. Sorry for reaching. I realised I've been doing that quite a bit, but the only place I've got to put stuff is in front of the project. Actually, I'm going to put this bit up here rather than that gap because it's a bigger piece. I do like this red. It's a lovely strong red. It's very cool. We haven't done yellow. How about we do a bit of yellow? It's funny, there were no blue hats. Is that normal? There's normally no blue hats. We've got the purple, but yeah, there were no blue ones. Oops, I do think this is fun with the bits of tissue, just random bits of colour. So let's pop a bit over here as well, somewhere, maybe down there. Hopefully you can see that on camera. I've kind of got it switched lengthways so I could get this bottom corner. Right, what other bits of... bit of this? This is, I don't know, Greek or Russian or something. Not sure. No, it's not Russian. I think it's probably Greek or something. Whatever, it's foreign language. A language I don't read or speak. Or apparently can even recognise. Which is fun. I love including foreign language. Here's a bit of map. Let's use up that little scrappy bit. We'll just lay it over. Where's a bit that looks like it could use a bit of interest? Maybe up there. And I love this process of just layering and layering until you're happy with things. It's fun. And it all just helps strengthen the cover. Like that. Want a bit more of this yellow because it's a pretty happy colour. Feel like we need a bit more orange. Sorry, completely gone. Silent. Okay, need some bit of colour there in the middle. This bit that way. Yep, my brush is very, very tacky. Full of glue. Right, how are we looking? I don't think I'm going to add any purple. I just think I'm going to keep it with the 3 colours because I feel like they work well together, or well enough. I think purple's just adding kind of that extra colour we don't really need. Maybe a bit here of the green. And then I don't want all the green just to be, or sorry, all the tissue to just be on top of everything. So I'm going to go in and cover up some little edges just with some extra, just so it's not all looks like it's been laid on last. Just where I think it might need a little bit of sinking in. And of course breaking up any spots that are looking a bit plain. And overlap some of the tissue papers as well. Right, so we're almost there. I've got a corner here that isn't done yet. I need to find something to put over that corner. To use this. This is another thicker bit of paper, so hopefully it folds around that corner nicely. Give it some good glue. And I can always go in, you know, and put some more glue in if it does lift once I've folded it all in place. So there we go. And another bit of red, I think, and then I think we'll be done, and I'll need to let this dry before I do anything else to it, which is good timing because my husband's just coming back inside. So that's what I call good timing. So just pop another little piece down here. Just another minute, darling. And I want another bit of red on the front. There's not really much red on the front. So let's pop another bit of red, or a couple even. Bit there, and maybe a bit down over here. There we go. Oops, sorry, I just knocked you with my heel. Okay, there's our cover in the making. And so once that dries, I will turn it over and fold this into the inside, and then cover the inside with some paper, a bit of scrapbook paper or something. And there we'll have our cover all ready to put some pages and things into. So I will show you this again once I've reached maybe the page going in point. We'll see. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you are inspired to use up some of those Christmas hats that are left over, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.